the video source, webcam, waiting for camera.
Alright, did you choose, go to select the media device on your camera, the second tab down there, camera controls, select the media device. First one.
Source?
Yeah. Oh no, it's probably because it's reading at OBS.
Huh?
It's probably because it's reading, close out that, exit that. See if we can find it now. Alright, hit refresh on, hit allow, number one, hit allow there. Okay, now try. Okay. Alright, and it looks like it's facing the wrong direction. Wrong camera. Choose a different camera. The second one. We'll have to wait.
Oh, you plugged it in right here?
Yeah, but you can choose a different one.
Okay.
Use the other camera, Dr. Wright.
That one?
Yes. Okay, now we're good. Alright. Start.
Start screen share?
Yeah.
Do I want a screen share?
A window, go to window. Okay, yeah, we can do that. Are we live? Alright, go back to Facebook.
Is that the whole thing?
I think so, just go back to
Is there a way
Facebook.
to shift that?
Let me see if I can double check on the phone here with your Facebook and see if it's coming through okay. This is usually what I have someone doing for me.
Where's
but
Facebook at? Oh,
don't
it's-
worry, I got it right here. I'll just check and see if we're live. Are you on your personal or what account are you on?
I think I'm on my personal account.
It's not live then.
I don't want to share the screen. I just want to do
Alright.
I just want to do Facebook Live and those.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
How do I
And
start?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Alright, talk about your video, put a title in there for the video.
Where is that at?
What your video is about right there.
Living.
Title. That's body. Alright, save that. And then go live right down here, bottom left corner, Dr. Wade.
What says here?
Well, you gotta fix that, yeah.
How did I do that?
Edit, there you go. Save. Alright, and then when you're ready to go live, there's going to be on the bottom left corner. Space that, there you
Go live.
go. Mm-hmm. And just click on your thing when you're ready to go to the test.
Do what now?
You can go, you can ignore this. Go to your, what happened, customers? Just say got it, that's fine. Alright, go to your test that you're going to give me, and we can just go from there.
Oh,
Alright, you are live.
let's see. The test is going.
Alright, good evening everybody. Welcome to Facebook Live and YouTube.
Expand video. Let's do that. I don't know how to do that.
Hit the arrows there.
Hey, this is Dr. David Wade. I'm excited about being with you, and this is my friend Justin. Justin has been helping me with some communications online with our YouTube channel, with
Facebook, TikTok.
Facebook Live, with TikTok videos. We've been posting a lot on short clips on different types of adjustments. Specifically, the Y strap has been a good one. Tonight, what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk a little bit about something called Living Healthy to 100. We find that there's a lot of people that really want to be able to live longer and be healthier. And so one of our intentions are to be able to help people with that. We have a questionnaire that I was going to try to find and go over and do a test with Justin. If we can find that out, and we'll find out what his score is, and you can kind of tie in with us, and we can discuss that same thing with you relative to your score. And
So Facebook, if you guys are watching, I want you to play along with us.
yeah,
as
if you
well.
don't mind, just play
Put your
along with
comments
us.
in here as well, so I can read out your questions, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, and one of the things that we look at here is a concept of really looking at the opportunity to talk about some questions relative to your health.
Blvd.
And
Center.
here,
The next to the X, hit the.
here,
Right there. There you go.
okay.
And then you can zoom in if you need finger further.
How do I zoom in bigger than that?
Take the bottom pinwheel down there, and then just scroll just like so. There you go.
There we go.
All right.
All right. So, Justin, these are some questions that really kind of define a point system relative to your health and your future health.
All right.
And if you don't mind, and if y'all want to play along, it's going to be beneficial for you. Here's a good question, Justin.
All right.
And this would be applicable to anybody, because when I ask people about living healthy to 100, a lot of people say, "Oh no, I don't want that," or living to 100. So here's a question, and it would be a scale from 1, which is never, or very little, and then 5 is oh yeah, absolutely, or always. And so here's the question. I'm gonna actually tally up your score.
All right.
I don't have this. I should have this thing printed up here in front of us. So I'm just gonna add the points up as we go. Okay.
All right.
So here's question number 1.
Okay.
I'm excited about the possibility of living to 100.
Let's say a 4.
A 4. Okay. Here's another question. I have many goals that I would like to achieve over my extended life.
Absolutely 5.
Okay, that's good. I'm willing to make changes to improve the quality of my life as I age.
5.
Okay, very good. So I know this is true because we've been talking about individual things that we need to do to improve our life. Question number 4. I have youthful energy despite my age.
Oh man, Ashley's gonna kick my butt if I don't answer this one truthfully. I'm gonna say about a 3.
Is that truthful?
That is truthful because I've been feeling like I've been losing a lot of energy like towards the end of the day.
Okay. The next question is, I enjoy a full night's restful sleep and feel energized each morning.
Absolutely, that's a 5.
Very good. Next question, I can consciously shift my energy whenever I want to.
Yeah, 5.
Very
I
good.
usually say pretty positive.
And shifting your energy from one project to another, or do you get kind of bogged down?
Well, see, the problem with that for me, and most of you guys that are watching on Facebook might be able to agree with this. If you shift your energy from doing one thing to the other thing, it might be a partial of ADD or ADHD. So I try not to let things get in my way. I try to stay focused on a single task until I complete that task. Then I'll usually go on to another one. But if something were to say something I need to do at home or whatever have you, then yes, I can change my attention to something that's more pressing. But I try to do that as minimum as possible.
Okay, good. So, for me personally, I'm kind of if I was born now, I would probably be diagnosed with ADHD. But, so I have a hard time sometimes. I got plenty of energy, and I love multiple tasking. So I guess I would have probably a 5 on that one as well.
Okay.
All right, so the next question would be, I'm aware of the diseases in my family history.
On my mother's side, yes, so I'd probably answer a 3 on that one.
All right. So, that really has to do with genetics, right? So like predisposition
Blood
for developing
pressure,
problems, right?
stuff like that, yeah.
Exactly. Diabetes, heart disease, other types of issues, other autoimmune disorders, anxiety, depression disorders. There's a lot of complications from a health that would interfere with a good, healthy, long living.
I'm going to ask you a question, not to get off track, but any of you guys can probably, want to ask this question, so I'm going to ask it for y'all. Is depression overrated?
I mean, it's a real thing.
I mean, everybody has problems and stress in their life, but do you think people use that as a crutch?
I think that it's individual. Here's what I know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When somebody's depressed, medical science generally considers it to be a brain hormonal or something like a serotonin limitation, and so it's kind of a brain chemistry problem. So they treat it chemically, generally.
Okay.
There's a couple of different types and there's some categories, but serotonin is one of those brain hormones that keeps you kind of upbeat and happy, helps you rest and relax well, and it's 95% of that is produced in the gut. So if you have poor gut health, digestion, assimilation of food, maybe something called leaky gut syndrome, you may have a lower serotonin level and be more likely to develop a problem related to anxiety or depression. So the natural way that we handle that is through either counseling or medication. That's marginally effective. For some people, it's a life changer.
Henry just commented here a moment ago, Genesis 5:5, and that the days of Adam lived 930 years, and then he died. Amen.
So who's that?
That was Mr. Henry Ostru.
What did he say about what?
Genesis 5:5, all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and then he died. Getting to 100 would be more of a challenge, but back in that day.
Well, let me give you the reason why people live so long. That was pre-antediluvic, is what they call it. Technically, it's pre-flood. Prior to the flood, it had never rained, and there was a shroud of mist that covered the earth, and they never really actually saw the sun, but they see a light in the sky. But there was so much of a protective mist around the earth that it protected a lot of the ozone that was there was thick and heavy, and the mist was high.
Something with barometric pressure too, where certain sizes of fish could get bigger within a certain pressure.
And basically what it did is it prevented the exposure of radiation to our body, which limited the fragmentation of the DNA, which according to all medical theories extended life significantly. After the flood, Genesis 6, it says, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, because now he's flesh, yet his days shall number 120 years. So that's really what the promises are now. Yes, Methuselah lived to 969 years.
Oh, wow.
He was the oldest one that had ever lived. You may have heard the common term, you're as old as Methuselah. Well, he was the oldest person that ever lived. But again, he was like a great-great-grandfather of Noah. But after the flood, with the cleansing of the sky, they'd never seen clear sky. They'd never seen rain before, because the earth was shrouded in a mist. And when Noah came and said, hey, it's going to rain, you need to get ready, they laughed at him, thinking, what's rain? They had no clue what he was even talking about. So, but God had a plan, and we may talk another time about why the flood came and what was the purpose that God had to destroy the whole earth. But after the flood, the one who fulfilled the full promise of God's 120 years was anybody who did that? The answer is in chapter of Deuteronomy. Last chapter it says, and Moses was 120 years old when he died. And here's the benchmark. He had no dimness of his vision, and his natural force was not abating. In other words, it never went away. So that's the benchmark. So I'm thinking if we could get, say, 82% of that,
that'd be a pretty good life.
That'd be 100 healthy years. That's what our target is. I've already put my order in. I've had almost arguments with some people. It was one older gentleman. He was actually a preacher, and his opinion was we're all going to get sick and die someday, and he was stuck on that. And that was his experience. He'd already had knee replacement, he'd had back surgery, he had diabetes, had heart disease. He was on probably 15, 20 medications, and he was kind of approaching his 80s. And he said, I'm ready to go. And I could, with his health, I would be ready to go too. But I asked him this question: do you have to get sick before you die? I know if the Lord tarries, and we all will die, unless the Lord comes back and then the rapture occurs and we'll all be carried up in the air with him. When the trumpet sounds, the dead in Christ will rise first, and those that will remain will be caught up with him in the air, and that's a pretty cool thing. I'm excited about that concept. But in the meantime, I want to be healthy and productive my entire life. I want to be productive the day before I die. I want to have a good night's sleep, and I want to fall asleep, and then I want to die in my sleep, and I want to wake up in the arms of the Lord. To me, that would be ideal.
Best way to go.
That'd be ideal. So, but honestly, that's not what we commonly get. And that's the reason why we're doing this little questionnaire. It's for you to thoughtfully and honestly, you don't have to send me your answers. This is not for me, this is for you. So the last question we said was, let's see,
Family history.
I'm aware of my diseases in my family history. All right, let's go on to the next question. I live a lifestyle that counteracts the diseases in my family history. That's important to understand. I'm going to say that again. I live a lifestyle that counteracts the disease in my family. Now, let me kind of explain that. Genetically, there's a strong connection between a genetic predisposition for disease. There are markers in our chromosomes, like for example, a BRCA, they call it a BRCA1 or BRCA2 gene, predisposes people for cancer. For women, particularly breast cancer. Use an example. Angelina Jolie found out she had the BRCA2 gene, and it's sort of a predictor of the possibility of developing breast cancer. So what did Angelina Jolie? She had bilateral mastectomy, didn't have cancer, but she chose to get rid of her breasts before the cancer could come. And she wanted to handle it on her own terms. Personally, that's proactive, but it's kind of like, maybe not necessarily the best way to handle it, but it is a way that some people choose to deal with it. What they have found, however, is that just because you have the genetic predisposition for disease, that the environmental factors, there's something in your environment that has to trigger the chromosome that would lead to that disease for you to develop that disease. There has to be a trigger. So at one time when they were studying genetics, they thought, oh, we got this down. We now know the genetic sequencing. We've discovered and broken down the genetic code. We understand this central dogma of theory of genetics, but they found that it didn't work out the way they expected. Medications that cause genetic changes, unfortunately, all have different impacts on different people at different times based on their environment and based on what choices they have and what other comorbidities that they may have. And so the problem now is that you need to understand that your lifestyle choices can impact and can counteract a predisposition for developing a disease. So grandpa died of a heart attack. My daddy died of a heart attack. I'm going to tell you personally, one of my grandfathers had a stroke. He died of a complication post-stroke. Another grandfather died prematurely. He had diabetes. My dad had a predisposition for developing lung problems. He was a smoker when he was younger, and then he was exposed to Agent Orange in Vietnam. And my dad died at the age of 63, or he was 64. My grandfather was 65. Now I'm 66. If I follow the trend, I'd already be in the grave at this point. But I don't take any medications. I'm relatively healthy. I have good energy. I have others in my family that have lived on up into their mid 90s. I've got an aunt, my mother's older sister, who is I believe 93. Annie Lane is living in Florida. She lives by herself. She drives when she wants to. She doesn't get out as much. And she's going to probably live several more years. And so my potential longevity can be estimated by taking the oldest person in my family tree, which is in the mid-90s, and I could subtract my current age, which is mid-60s, and I could basically find that I have potentially 30 more years to live, maybe 29. but I've got potentially 29 minimum potential years remaining. For me, it's about 29 to 30. Now, the question then becomes, for me personally, is what am I willing to do now to see to it with my lifestyle choices that my longevity is going to be in the future healthier. Thank you for the water. Yeah.
We're both on the water diet pretty much.
So there are things that I know that I need to do personally. So here's the question again. I live a lifestyle that counteracts the diseases in my family history. Grade that 1 through 5, Justin.
One more time, what was the question again?
I live a lifestyle that counteracts the diseases in my family
I do.
history.
That's a 5. Solid 5.
So you counteract everything in your lifestyle.
My parents used to
Minimizes
smoke,
high
drink.
blood pressure and diabetes and.
Well, the high blood pressure is the only thing for me that I don't know how to combat without medication.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Well, let's just talk about it now. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
What do you think? All right. What are some things that you think could help lower your blood pressure?
Water for sure. You and I have been talking for about a month and a half.
Keeping your body better hydrated.
More hydrated, yes.
All right. So what are some things that puts more stress on your heart?
Aggravation,
Aggravation.
stress,
Getting angry with things and upset and carrying a lot of tension and pressure on your body.
Amen.
Not understanding how to let those things roll off your back like water off a duck.
Right.
If we learn to have the mind of Christ and we could respond in every situation with unconditional love and forgiveness, there's no stress in that life that is not natural. It is supernatural. So learning that would be a benefit. Another benefit would be losing some weight.
I'm not in trouble, little miss.
All right, so carrying more weight on your frame is stressful to the heart. There's, for every extra 10 pounds of weight that you carry, there's probably well over a mile, maybe even up to 10 miles of extra blood the heart has to pump through. That back pressure increases the stress on the heart. The pressure of the heart working harder can become enlarged. The enlarged heart does not pump blood better. It becomes less capable of pumping the blood properly without elevating the pressure. So there are things that we could do to restrict.
See, now that kind of concerns me a little bit on a personal level, because my Uncle Butch had an enlarged heart when he was like in his mid-40s.
So and that happens. I mean, that's sort of how congestive heart failure develops. So and it's really a big issue. So diet, exercise, positive mental attitude.
Sunshine help me?
Hmm?
Mr. Henry said exercise, water, and sunshine. I'm just questioning how does sunshine have
Oh,
an effect?
vitamin D, man, that sunshine is the natural vitamin D that enhances your immune system. My friends that are in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, they have some phenomenal concepts of health and vitality that incorporates air, water, sunshine, a lot of physical movements, walking, exercise, proper nutrition, minimizing high concentrated sources of sugar, high density foods, eating more healthy grains, fruits and vegetables. All of those things are things. There's a traditional Mediterranean diet that actually works extremely well for people. There's a lot of things we can do. So these are all about, I live a lifestyle that counteracts the diseases in my family history. Now, I know you want to, but here, the reality, truthfully, how do you score?
I'm going to say about, I wish I could put a 3.5 in there. Let's just say 4. I'll go with 3. Let's keep it at 3.
All right, so you want to be really truthful. All right, 3. All right. So that's not bad. All right, here's another question. I am motivated by quality of life health goals rather than crisis management. In other words, are you proactive dealing with quality of life health goals, or do you wait for a problem to pop up before you do something about it?
Let's say a 3.
A 3.
If I'm being honest.
Well, truthfully,
I should be more.
well, this is what we're doing this for. It's an opportunity for reflection and learning how and deciding that it's worth it to make different choices is really what it's all about. how about this one? I feel good about my current health condition.
I feel better about my health condition, because I'm not driving and having to sit behind the wheel like I used to. You know, for those of you who don't know, I used to drive a truck for a living for 14 years. So I've got the opportunity to exercise, be more physically active than usually sit behind the wheel of the truck.
So specifically now,
Yeah.
with your current health condition, do you feel good about your current health
It
condition?
needs improvement.
All right, so
I'd
what
say
number would,
about, let's just go with for this one
a
here,
4 with this one? Okay, good.
because I'm trying.
All right. Now, I exercise 4 to 5 times a week and I'm getting the results I want from my fitness routine.
As long as I get over 2,000 steps a day on my Samsung,
How many?
I go for 2,000 a day.
2?
Yeah, well, I usually get around 7 or 8.
What should be your real target?
And what is a real target is the question.
Minimally, they suggest 10,000 steps a day.
I'm not getting 10,000 a day, I'll tell you that right now.
All right, so you're getting how many a day on average?
About average, let's just say for the sake of argument, about 5K. About 5K.
All right, so you're getting 5 out of the 10,000 steps.
Out of the 10, yeah.
Okay, so you would say you're maybe halfway there?
Yeah.
3? All right, so you're gonna give yourself 3. So, I mean, I'm with you there, buddy. I mean, I get on my bike and ride for 20 minutes. I don't get out and exercise as actively as I like to.
Mhm.
I'm riding a recumbent bike. I've started it recently. I actually carried it home from my office and use it, pretty much not, I'd like to say I do it every day, but I'm wanting to get to that point. But I do 4 to 5 times a week and I'm feeling better.
Henry, we'll get to your question in a second.
Yeah,
No, he did have a question. We can wait, or if you want to.
go ahead, ask the question.
All right, Henry had asked, what would be the best foods to bring down blood pressure?
The best foods to bring down blood pressure. That's a great question, actually. Anything that's going to be higher in omega fats, fish oil, healthy fish, whole foods, mostly fruits and vegetables. There's a direct correlation between foods that have a high antioxidant level, which is green leafy vegetables. Interestingly, the resveratrol that's in red wine is actually beneficial for the heart and
See,
improves
that's what my grandma
circulation.
used to do. She'd always have a glass of red wine before she'd go to sleep.
There you go. And there's several other things. We use a product called Perfusia Plus, which is it's a arginine-based amino acid that is a precursor for something that relaxes the arteries of the periphery.
What about those omega?
That takes a lot of stress off the heart when you can reduce the peripheral resistance. What about the omegas?
Is this something like the omega-3 fish oil or something that's
Yeah,
supposed to be good?
yeah.
Can you?
Those are helpful.
And what about the red beets that they try to sell truck drivers all the time?
Well, again, high antioxidant content, any, collard greens, anything green leafy is going to be beneficial. Anything along those lines. You could probably look for and search for alkaline foods, Google search alkaline foods, or if you want to go to our Facebook group page, it's facebook.com/groups/Dr. Wade. I've got a bunch of information on there you can find and search, and I think I've got a detailed list of alkaline foods that would benefit heart function. So there's a lot that you can do to improve your health. So that was actually one of the next questions. I eat healthy foods and supplement my diet. I hear that laugh.
Well.
What's your score? 1 is never. 2 is next to never.
2.
3, you're saying 2?
I'm gonna say 2 because I know Ashley's watching right now.
Oh Lord, okay, 2. So she's gonna hold your feet to your fire. Is
She
that what
already
you're
threatened
saying?
that.
Okay. All right, here's another question. I visit healthcare providers proactively to stay healthy and avoid unnecessary health problems.
See you almost every day.
Well, we need to start putting you on a better plan of care. I know you see and you help me out, and
Ashley
we're
says
here.
1.
Huh?
Ashley says 1. You're a liar.
A 1.
Oh, that's someone there. Yeah.
Well, you could go back and, you could get your spouse to rate your numbers as well. I know, for example, well, I'm not gonna get into that, never mind. Here's another question, so I'm gonna give you a 2, so that's what you said.
Okay.
I live in a peaceful, stress-free home environment.
Oh my God! Why did that question come up just now? Oh man.
Peaceful, stress-free home
I'd
environment.
say about a 3, 4. This
All right, come
That's
on. I know
it.
she's listening.
happy wife, happy life, right?
What's the truth?
True answer is gonna be a 3
3. Okay.
today, at least.
All right. I work in an environment that nurtures my talents and where I feel appreciated.
I'd say 5.
I
love what I do right now.
I promise I appreciate what you do.
No problem. I love what I'm doing.
My home and work environment reflect my inner feelings and
Absolutely,
voice.
that's a solid 5. Right
Okay,
there.
good. I support myself through choices that I know are good for me.
5.
Is that a 5?
I support myself through choices that I know are good for me. I'm trying my best.
So, but are you
I support
100% of it, or are you 50% of it, or are you
We go with a
75?
4. We go with a 4.
Okay, so you're saying you do it about 75% of the time.
Do my best.
Okay, all right. I actively seek out opportunities and enjoy learning new things.
That's a 5.
That's a 5. Okay.
And
I am.
just so you guys know, 1 is never, 5 is always. So y'all are. playing
1 is
for-
never, 5 is always. So 2 would be 25% of the time, 3 is maybe 50% of the time, 4 is 75% of the time, and 5 is 100% of the time. I'm right on top of all that.
Right.
All right, so let's see, which question am I now? I actively seek out opportunities. Did I ask that one already? And enjoy learning new things? I don't know.
I don't think we've seen that one.
Yeah,
I would
I
say
actively seek out opportunities and I enjoy learning new things.
no, not usually, because I'm usually content with the role that I'm usually playing, so I don't go looking for trouble. Because if I usually stay off task, I'm not going to complete the task that I'm on. That's what the preacher had talked about a couple Sundays ago. It's about staying on task until the mission is completed.
So 25%?
I'd say about 25%.
So that'd be a
2.
2. Okay. All right. Let's see
That
where
was
we
the
are. Let's see. I am surrounded by supportive relationships at home and at work.
Absolutely, yes, that's a 5.
Okay, good. Next question. I have achieved the balance I'm looking for.
For anybody that knows me personally, this is like the first time I've ever felt like I'm on cloud 9. So I have achieved what the balance that I'm looking for, yes.
So it's a lot better. So
Yeah,
it's
way better.
100% of the time?
Yeah, well, that's a 5, like completely, because I haven't felt this much peace in my life in years.
Well, I'm glad you're doing well. All right, here's another question. I'm able to separate work time from play time.
What's the difference for me is I enjoy what I do. Counselor told me in high school, if you find a job you like, you'll never work a day in your life. And I absolutely love doing this content creation for whoever I'm doing it for.
Well, you still need some recreational downtime and playtime. Do you get
I'm
any?
too old for that.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I'm too old for
No,
message.
you need to go. You need to go out and swing. You know, you never are too old to get out and enjoy life. Do you smell the roses? Do you walk out in the field barefooted? Do you hug a tree? Do you swing
Usually
on
we
a
let the
swing?
cats run around outside and play in the yard, so yeah, I do enjoy it.
I know.
I'll call that playtime. I'll let my cats go outside and play. I mean, this is something I enjoy.
Is this a 5 or a 4?
That's a 5.
Okay. I have a clear picture of how I want to use my time during my extended life. So how old are you now, Justin? How old are you?
I'm 43 right now.
All right, 43. So if you live healthy to 100,
Mm-hmm.
you've got 47 years left. So over the next 47 years, do you have a picture in your mind as to how you want to use your time? Do you see yourself when you're 95, and what are you doing?
Not be like Joe Biden.
Bless his heart. So do you have a clear picture of how you want to use your time yet?
I never really
I
thought
know-
about it.
I
So
know.
I say about a
So what's the number?
2.
A 2.
I usually don't go that far because for me personally, like my family history, you know, I'll just make it short. I lost my mom, my uncle, my grandfather between 47 and 53. So I don't know if I'm gonna last later or not. I mean, I would love to make it to 100, but realistically, I'd be blessed just to make it to 70. Now, my grandmother, she's still alive, but with dementia, she'll be 92 this upcoming May 2023.
So we need to at some time talk about prevention of dementia because there's some very very important things you can do for that. So here's the thing. I'm going to use George Burns as an example. George Burns used to say, "Of course I'm going to live to past the age of 100." He said, "I'm already booked in Vegas for my 100th birthday." So he had a preparation and a plan, and he saw himself, and he was actually booking himself out in advance, and he lived a pretty ripe old age.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so my point to you is, if you don't have a plan, you're not going to make your plan. You have to have plans and objectives and goals. You have to have a clear vision of what's going to be happening in the future. If you don't, if you have no plan, you're going to accomplish what you have, which is nothing. So you've got to really start focusing a little bit more on what am I going to be doing? How am I going to use my time during this experience life? And you have a clear picture of that. All right, here's another one.
Okay.
My current financial path can sustain me until I reach 100.
I'd say about a 3.
So for me personally, with 9 children, I'm an expert in stress. By the way, folks out there in Facebook land, I have basically, my retirement is, I don't expect to retire. I expect to continue to work in some capacity pretty much all my life. I want to work and be productive. I absolutely enjoy what I do.
Once we get monetized, that's going to change.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't mind. I don't have like a set aside budget. I can get my Social Security coming up early next year, but that's not enough to pay all my bills. So
No.
I'm going to end up being working, and I'm going to be working on deep into my retirement. My patients have told me they don't want me to ever retire, and I don't want to retire. So as long as I'm able to continue to do certain things, it's one of the reasons why we do a lot
And
of
that's why we had that
other
op-ed
things.
meeting today, because there's things you can do if you feel like you can't do chiropractic anymore.
Yeah, so I mean, but I'm okay, and I feel like, continuing on. So, but my current financial path will sustain me until I reach 100, as long as I stay healthy and active.
So you're a 5.
Well, I have to prepare and make better choices for my own personal health to be able to sustain that path. So that's important for me. Here's a good question. I am passionate about the work and the way I earn money.
Yes. I am very passionate about what I've been doing, and the way that I've been making money has been a blessing. I never saw this coming. This has been an absolute blessing for me, and it's just getting better.
Isn't it exciting how
It
God
is,
will
because you
touch your heart?
really get to see God work.
So my answer would be absolutely. God told me a long time ago to prepare the way. That was His word specifically, verbally to me. And I have taken that as to understanding that you personally have a destiny. And my mission is to help you get to your destiny healthy. That's how I will help you prepare your way. And I want to be a blessing to those people that we have contacts with, and I want to be able to give credit to God because He's the source of all of the good things in our life. And so I'm very passionate about what we do, and I am absolutely blessed. Here's a good question. I'm living within my means, and I'm saving money regularly.
4?
Okay.
We're getting okay. We're getting better.
Did I get a number on that?
I think I'm passionate about my work and the way I earn money. That was a 5.
Okay, so that was a 5, and
I'm within my means to save money.
That's a
It's about a
4.
4 right now.
I feel like my life has purpose, and I am making a difference.
Yes, 5.
I am actively involved in my community.
And others, 5.
So what are you doing?
Well, I got my other YouTube channel, Northeast Alabama News. I try to post whenever I can on there. I try to, do this whole medical thing with other communities. I try to keep in contact with the truck drivers on other group pages. No, it's probably not in the active community here, besides the news what I put out whenever I find a story. But
So
I'd say maybe about 3 in my community directly. Yes.
Okay, so if you have a community of people that support you, then you need to basically do something back in your community. And I've done a lot over the years.
Mhm.
After I went away to med school and I came back, and I've been so busy trying to get caught up and finished, and then ultimately, redevelop my entire business model and practices. I have not spent as much time in the community as I used to, but I do think that we need to be involved. And I think that we need to reach out and look for opportunities to help others.
Okay.
And that's, the last question is, I have a mentor, and I use my leadership skills to mentor others.
5. I got several mentors, and I use the leadership skills that they have taught me, among others. I try to do the best I can with what I got.
All right, so all of those are good scores. Let's kind of run this up. That's 17, 27, 30, 36, 40, 45, 50, 55, 58, 62, 67, 69, 74, 84, 86, 90, 98, 108, 111. So that's your score, 111.
So I'm going to get to 111 years old?
Well, no, your
I just
score,
had to.
your score was basically 111. So let's talk about what the scores mean. Now, not everybody's scores are that way. If your score was, say, 0 to 35, whoa, you need to slam on the brakes and change your life. You're either in denial or at the end of your ropes, or you just don't care. At the rate you're going and your score is that low, then both your mind and your body are headed for trouble. Honestly, I think that the people who have paid attention so far in this video are not in that category. But you can make a difference if you start making some realistic expectations and changes. You've heard the definition of insanity.
Of course.
People who expect different results, but they're not willing to change anything. They do the same thing over and over and expect different results. That person probably needs to, be on antipsychotics. All right, if your score was 36 to 70, you got to stop killing yourself slowly. At the rate you're going, you're headed for a deterioration and depressing extended life. You have no vision, poor habits, a lack of sense of purpose. You're using crisis as the motivation to take action in the habits you know are good for you, rather than embracing the quality of your life that you deserve. Stop compromising on yourself. You can simply, steadily, easily make a healthy 100-year change to enjoy your longevity with the health and passion and the meaning that it needs to make it all worthwhile. You need to change. And so if your score was, say, 71 to 105, so you're just above that number, but you need to get ready to go from good to great. You are probably on a roller coaster filled with ups and downs. If you go back and look at your past 5 years, you'd probably, honestly, if you're honest with yourself, been in that zone right there.
Yeah, definitely.
But you're enjoying your life, but you're out of balance with swings that go too far to the extreme. There's a lot of people that are in this zone. Some things are working well for you, while other areas in your life are just out of control. So if you address the areas that we talked about in this Healthy to 100 lifestyle, you will impact your life the most, and you will find that your life gets easier and the results go up. And you start having a lot more fun. See, you're actually making changes as we speak. And I'm proud of you. I'm absolutely proud of you. And, you'll add better health, financial security, peace of mind, and purpose to an already solid foundation. So you can take this Healthy to 100 leap and discover how to attract new friends and find new passions and achieve the balance that you're looking for by embracing the concepts that we've been talking about. So that's pretty cool. Now, if your score was over 106 to up to the maximum score, which would have been 140, you're enjoying a sensational century. Just go ahead and have fun, have at it. You are on your way. You're living the dreams while you plan for your future, both at the same time. You know, I know of very few people that are probably in that zone, but they're living well.
Yeah.
You enjoy your work. You feel like you could do it forever. The good news is that by following this plan, it won't be something that you have to do, but it's something that you can choose to do if you want to. You're in good health. You have goals to achieve, and a world of opportunity lie ahead of you. Embracing this healthy to 100 lifestyle will ensure that you're enjoying your legacy while you're alive. You know, Jesus said, I've come to bring you life and life more abundantly. This is where the abundance of life, this is where you live a place where Bible talks you will run and not be weary. Your youth will be renewed as the eagle's wings. This is a great place to live into the future. Embracing this will ensure that you enjoy everything about your life. Take the leap. Refine your life vision. Have more fun than ever. Make your life matter by adopting the concepts that we talk about. You know, be a leader around your people that you're engaged with, and be a blessing to other people. It's a great place to live. I feel like I'm probably in that zone, but I'm promise you I'm not perfect. I can make a lot of very positive changes that I need to make for myself, but I want to encourage others. I want to encourage you, and I want to encourage others to be able to have that same basic strategy. And there are things you can do very specifically that's going to allow you to be able to reach those things. So we've had a few views. There's been a few reactions. There's been a few comments. Have we responded to any of all the comments?
No, so far, I believe so. The last thing I
All right. So, you know, honestly, listen, we started a little bit late, and this workshop has gone on beyond what we typically go. I attempt to start at 6:30, and I attempt to finish at 7, and it's already like 7:24. So I apologize for carrying on like this. We've had a lot of comments. I was really not able to stay totally on point with every single area, but I think we got a good conversation. Okay, I think that we have had. I think that we had a good communication here. And Shirley, I appreciate you that you don't want me to retire. And Henry, I appreciate what your comments. I accept the blessings that you're pouring out. You know, thank you so much. You know, I just absolutely love the opportunity to be of service to you. And this is Amy. I don't listen. If I have any power, it comes from the Lord. I promise you. Without Him, listen. The greatest way to live your life is to recognize that in your weakness, you can find His strength. And I honestly believe that we've got to learn how to look at things differently in our life. Who doesn't have past issues that can have the impact on your current day-to-day enjoyment of life and the possibility of an impact in your future? But if you can understand the concept of anointing and how good God is, and the fact that He does really care and He loves us that much, how much better could we live our life? How much better could we be a witness for Him? Be willing to look for opportunities to share your testimony. That's so critical for maintaining a position of being an overcomer. That's so critical. So, folks, I appreciate your comments. Anyway, I don't know if there's anything else, but we're going to go ahead and say good night. We ought to have some kind of joke, but I'm not a joke teller. But thank you for tuning in. We'll be back again next Tuesday. We normally do this live in our office. Tonight was kind of the weather got chilled, and I guess kept people away, so we decided to just jump on and do Facebook Live here. Appreciate the opportunity, and please take the time to share this with your friends if you don't mind. Like and share our webpage. I appreciate you doing that. Go to our Facebook page or the group, facebook.com/groups/Dr. Wade. Request to join. You can also go to our YouTube page. Love for you to go to the YouTube page. What's the address for our YouTube page?
NUVO and then / Anniston Chiropractic.
Yeah, NUVO/Anniston Chiropractic. NUVO is the base company of our, is the foundational company. It has a lot to do with the approach that we take with our practice, especially as we get into occupational medicine. It's NUVO Ahmed division, and then Anniston Chiropractic is a DBA doing business as Anniston Chiropractic. And we've been here in this location, so exciting to be here. This is a great facility, great location, and we have great opportunities to be of service to a lot of people. So y'all help me out. The way I have chosen to make an impact on this community is to take you and help you reach what you want. In other words, if you come in with a problem, I want to help you with your problem. I want to hear you express the joy of what you've received by being a participant in our protocol. And then what I need you to be able to do is to be able to share that hope that you've received with other people who may have a problem that you think would benefit. And as long as you're willing to share your hope with others, or share that hope that's there, then I believe that we can really make an impact on this community in a greater way. God bless you. I appreciate you being here. And if you can help me figure out how to close out of this.
Go to the bottom left corner, it says end live video.
Where's that at?
In the red.
Okay, in live video.
Good night, guys.
Hey, good night, and thank you for coming.
And YouTube over here that was actually doing it tonight, so.
What's that?
YouTube did good tonight. It's like,
Do we have YouTube comments too?
it was just Ashley was on there. Well, actually, it was